Hello, so this is part two on the theoretical perspectives on social policy. And this one's going to be the Marxist perspective. So it's just going to be similar to the last video I made. Okay, so how do Marxists view society? Okay, Marxists see society as divided into two classes, or this can be reduced further to oppressor and oppressed. So the bourgeoisie are the upper class, and their job is basically to oppress the working class, which is the proletariat. So there's conflict between the proletariat and the bourgeoisie. The state represents the ruling class, and its social policies serve the interests of capitalism and not society as a whole. So laws are made and policies are made in order to benefit the higher class or the ruling class, and not necessarily benefit the working class. So Marxists take quite a cynical approach, I guess, and whenever policies are made which seemingly do benefit the whole of society, there's always some sort of they always manage to twist it to make it seem like it's just benefiting the higher classes. Okay, so what do they see as the role of the state? It represents the ruling class, so its policies serve the interests of capitalism and not society as a whole. It legitimizes the ideological by providing the welfare state. This helps to mask capitalism by making it appear that they care about the poor, sick, and the old. So this is known as, according to Marxists, the caring face of capitalism. So by giving us a welfare state, it makes us think that the bourgeoisie actually do care about the workers, but really it's just to hide the fact that they're exploiting us in many other ways. So you can see that this is quite cynical. It maintains the labour force for further exploitation. For example, the NHS keeps workers fit enough to work. So the NHS isn't necessarily there to benefit us and for our health. It's so that we can be fit in order to be able to benefit the bosses and the bourgeoisie, to make them profit so they can carry on exploiting us. And social policy is a means of preventing revolution. When class conflict threatens capitalism, for example, the creation of the welfare state after the war was a way of making sure that the working class did not rise up and oppose capitalism. So, yeah, I guess you can link this to legitimizing. Well, this seems to sum up the previous two, to be honest. Preventing revolution by legitimizing the ideology. So, yeah. So the welfare state is like it's just it's a caring face of capitalism. It makes us think that capitalism is good and that it's helping us and benefiting us, when really it's just preventing revolution, which would then lead to the Marxist utopia. Okay, social policy does sometimes provide real benefits to working class. However, the provision of benefits and services are constantly threatened by welfare cuts. Okay, yeah, so that's the idea that the state are making cuts to the welfare system, and the more recent one, cuts to the NHS, so that they can privatise it, and then that way it probably would be more beneficial to the bourgeoisie and the people who actually have money and are able to afford healthcare. But there are arguments for both sides of that story. What effect do they believe sociology has on social policy? They see the reports like the Black Report are easily buried by capitalism. They will not carry out such recommendations as they put profits before human needs. Okay, I don't actually know what the Black Report is, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I probably should have researched that. What do they see the role of sociologists? They see the role of sociologists as to criticise capitalist social policy and reveal the exploitation that underpins capitalism, and the way the ruling class uses social policy to mask this exploitation. and prevent a revolution through minor concessions. Okay, so that's basically saying that sociologists have to point out to everybody and point out to the state the fact that the ruling class are making laws and policies which are oppressive to the working class and to the proletariat, and that perpetuate capitalism. Yeah, but I don't know. They have a very negative view. Okay, what are the criticisms of this perspective? This view is impractical and unrealistic. And it definitely is impractical and unrealistic because, well, they talk about a revolution and advocate a revolution, and this is what Marx said would inevitably happen, but it didn't say when it would happen, and we have no evidence that it actually will happen. Social Democrats criticise them for rejecting the idea that sociological research can bring about change in a capitalist system, arguing that poverty research has had some positive impact on policy. Okay, so I guess that's saying that they're very pessimistic. They don't acknowledge that any positive change can occur within a capitalist society, and they think that the complete abolition of capitalism is the only answer to social problems. And they also believe that capitalism underpins all social issues and it's not due to any other factors. For example, feminists would say that they're gender blind in that they don't perceive the exploitation of women as being problematic. They only perceive the exploitation of the working class as being problematic. Yeah, so that's pretty much it on Marxism. Thanks for watching.